everyone. Sorry, it pays to be in the right group. I was in the wrong group, so sorry about that. Just getting you up on my laptop. Good evening, everyone. I hope we've got some people joining. It'll be a little while. Here we go. Okay. Well, let's. All right. Okay, I'll start now. Oh, we've got someone there. Sorry, I was in the wrong group. That's why I'm a bit late. Had the wrong group on. So welcome everyone to tonight. Turn my light on. Thank you for joining me. I just thought I'd do a little bit of a play around tonight. It's not going to be too. I just want to go back to basics. I think we forget about the simpler things that we used to do. You know, instead of always trying to come up with new tricks and all sorts of things. And I think it's great that to go back and just do what we used to do with a bit of collage paper and stuff like that. So that's where I thought I'd head tonight. I hope everyone is well. Hello, Sandra. How are you, darling? Thank you for joining. So tonight I've just got this. I mean, it's a little bit of a nod. Not that I really am a Halloween person per se, but I don't mind these gothic type of images and that kind of thing. So I thought, you know, it is coming up to the Halloween celebration for the Americans. So, but I just thought, let's do a little bit of a play because I do love these images. And hi Tracy, how are you, lovely? So I thought we'd have a bit of a play with that. And I was going to use some newsprint as my bit of collage, background collage. I thought I would show you this. I bought this bundle from a lady in France, and she has some lovely stamps and stencils that she sells on her website, and she does a lot of lovely demonstrations and things like that. And her business name is Lemon Creation, and her name is Asia Marquet, and she's from lemoncreation.com. And I come across her a few years ago, and I've bought a few of her stencils and stamps and things like that. And she does up these beautiful little bundles of old paper. But what I like about it is, I mean, we can get old paper here too, but what I like about this is that it's all in different languages. There's some visual pictures, but you can see down here the headings. It's all in, I'll bring it up a bit because I'm a bit high, but it's all in, like this particular one's in French, and she's got all sorts of things here, really old pages. There's some English ones. That one looks a bit German-ish as far as the language goes. And there's all sorts of things. So I thought I would use a couple of these. And there's some, it looks like Russian writing, but it's all mathematical bits and pieces. So I thought I would use a couple of these pieces tonight. And I can't remember what she charges now. I mean, but I paid like €5.95 euro, which I think it was about $7 or $8. And usually the postage is not too bad. But I'll put a link up. But I mean, I'm not being paid by her or anything like that. This is just a person that I come across a few years ago, and occasionally I'll buy bits and pieces from her. But yes, you can have a look and see what, if you're interested, and see what you think. So there's a couple, what have we got here? We've got some Russian ones here, so I might use those tonight. I don't know why I get excited about that, because I'll probably end up covering it all up anyway, but that's okay. So I've got a couple of bits of paper that I will tear up and use on my in my book. I'm going to be working in my Mindful Creativity, my craft journal tonight. I have, because I wasn't quite sure where I'm heading with all of this. I've got some ideas, but that's likely to change. But I have actually put a layer of clear gesso on here. The reason being, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do, and I may want to leave some of the craft showing through. But also too, because once you put paint on here, because it's a craft, it really is very thirsty and soaks up all of the paint. So, you know, you'll put that on and it just sort of seeps into the craft, and so you don't get to see it very well. So I have put clear gesso on there, so I've got scope to do whatever I want with it. And yeah, so we'll see how we go with that. So you can see in the colours here, I've chosen, of course, so just make sure that it's not glary on you. Hi Shari, how are you, lovely? Yeah, so I'm going to be using the obligatory mustard because that's my fave. I thought I'd go with Sedona because it's got that reddish brown in there as well. I've got a couple other colours too. I've got, excuse me, a couple of dilutions, desert sand and vanilla custard, because there's a bit of lighter colour there. I did get out a bit of ruby. I might use a little bit. But also I did get the sapphire out too, but I might be mixing that in with a little bit of grey. So I got my elephant out. So I may just mix those up just to bring the colour down a little bit. But we'll see how we go. And I've also got black gesso and the new cocoa as well. So I may get different colours out, but that's kind of where I'm starting off with. Like I say, there's a little bit of a plan, but not a lot of plan. I'm just going to be doing the single page here. I'll just move these out the way. Single page here, and I've got on the other side here is the Lindy's challenge that I did last month, so that'll look quite nice beside those two. They're very similar in colouring, so that's why I thought I'll do it on that page there. So I'll just cover that up for now. Yeah, so and I don't know, I've got a couple of stencils out here. We'll just see how we fly with this one. So I guess the first thing I will do is tear up some of this paper and adhere it with some matte medium. Now I might get my silicone blade to apply this. Sometimes I like to use this. I interchange between a brush and using the blade, because I do find with a brush I'm a little bit more slapdash with it, whereas this I get a nice fine brush. You know, you don't waste as much with it. Sorry, I've lost my words, I haven't even started, but I'm trying to, this never creases the way that I want it, never rips the way that I want it to, because I'm trying to get, I just wanted a few little sort of thin, because we've got some branches there, so I'm just putting on some thin bits and see how we go. So I hope everyone is well tonight. Put that on, I'll just take that up there. I'm just getting a little bit slapdash with this, as far as, you know, there's no real rhyme or reason as to why or where I'm putting the paper. Let's move that picture out the way. I don't even, oh yeah, I was going to say, I don't even know which way it's up, but because this is Russian writing, so I don't know my Russian writing, but anyway, we'll see how we go. Okay, I'm just putting that up over there because it's got the border there, so I can cut that off later. And mean, for me, I haven't done a lot of this collaging for so long, and I don't know, it's funny how your tastes change in what you do and things like that, and but I've decided let's go back to what we know. The old techniques are still just as good. So you can see here I'm really scraping at that, being careful not to rip the text though, and making sure it's got good coverage. Something I tend to do, it's just, I don't know, I'm not even sure why, but I tend to just have my text going up and down. Very rarely do I put my text going sideways unless it's really got something to do with what I'm trying to achieve. But generally I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why I do that. Where did the circle stencil come from, please? The circle, well, that's from Asia Marquet, yeah. So I've got it here somewhere. Yes, so that's why I wanted to talk about her, because that is where I got it from. And hello, Wendy. Yeah, so I will put up links. I'll have a look tonight, and so it's tomorrow. Have a look tomorrow, and you'll see all the links to her website. And I've always found I've ordered a few times from her. I know she's from France, but I have found it not too costly and very, very, very efficient. Gets the orders out to you very quickly, and sometimes I get orders from her quicker than people within Australia. So yes, so I'll try and keep an eye on the comments, so hopefully I don't miss anything. Tear that edge off because I just don't like, you know, with your collage paper you can put as little or as much as you like. And you know, like I say, I haven't put a lot of thought into what I'm actually doing. I have got some ideas, but as we creatives often do, we change. And there's no rhyme or reason as to how I'm putting this paper on here, but I just wanted it in sort of strips. Some are overlapping, some not. Yes, the circle stencil is one I use a lot. I really like the circle stencil. She's got a beautiful heart one. I've got the folder here with all her bits in, so I'll show you later. But she's got a beautiful heart one that you could use either as hearts or as butterfly wings. And so I find it a very versatile stencil to use. I've used it quite a bit. Just rip that bit off there. So I hope everyone is well. I do hope we don't, we're kind of half talking about storms, so I don't know, I hope we don't get a storm. Shari, did you get a storm the other night? What was it, Monday night? My sister lives at Carindale and they had a dreadful storm. We got nothing down here. But apparently it went through like Mount Gravatt and all that sort of thing. So I'll just give that bit of a dry off. Yeah, I don't even know what I've done. Oh, here we go. Yeah, so that's the circle stencil that you're talking about, and they're good quality too. Yeah, so I think pretty sure. Yeah, that's from her, and let me just grab out. And like I say, I'm not on any payroll or anything like that. I'm just showing you things that I like. She does all sorts of things. She's even got digital images that you can purchase from her and all sorts of things. Yeah, okay, yeah. We got nothing down here, and but apparently it was dreadful in other places. So this is her. She does Lemon Creation. So if you just look up lemoncreation.com, I think it is. Don't get mixed up with Lemon Craft, I think it is. Lemon Craft is a little bit like Stamp It Up or something like that. Totally different thing. This is Lemon Creation Asia Marquet. And so there's a little thing of images that I bought from hers. But let me show you this. This is the heart stencil that she has. I just love it. So can you see how it's abstract hearts, but can you see how you could easily use those as butterfly wings? So you can see I have used that one a bit. So that's another one. Yeah, shop lemoncreation.com is her thingy. But yeah, so I've got a few stencils that I've bought from her. Yeah, that one I've used a couple of times as well, and just one with lines. But she's worth having a look at. But do keep in mind that it is you know, Europe, so there is a conversion rate for the purchases that you make. But because they're usually, because I buy mostly the stencils, it's usually not very costly for the, oh God, that's wet. It's not costly for the postage. I'll fix that up later, it's still a bit wet. The hearts look great, yes they do, and like I say, they're quite versatile. Alright, so let's have a look at our image here. So I think it's kind of, you can see it's radiating out on there, and I'm going to kind of do a little bit like that too, which is why I got the circle stencil out. That's where I'm not real sure what I wanted to do with that, because originally I was going to do some embossing, and I thought, oh, maybe we won't, but anyway, we'll see. So with colour, I'm going to start using some of the mustard, so I'll just get some paint out on my, yeah, do have a look, because it's worth having a look, because she has some nice things, and she's got a range of rice papers and stuff like that now too. And but she does a lot of YouTube videos, so you can look her up there as well. So I'm putting out a bit of mustard and Sedona. Oh, you can't see that, sorry. Oh gosh. A bit muggy here. I haven't got the aircon on, it's a bit muggy in the studio. Baby white. Okay, I might put out a little bit of desert sands very close to that. I might just stick with the vanilla custard. I'm using the vanilla custard because Dina Wakley doesn't have a sort of creamy colour. I could probably put a bit of white into the mustard. But anyway, we'll start off with those. And I'll just get a little brush. And I'm just going to start blending in a circular sort of fashion. So I'll start off with the lightest one. And I guess I'm going to be kind of putting her there. So now I'm just going to drip into the first off I did was vanilla custard. Now I am just dipping into the mustard and vanilla custard. That's a good combination, isn't it? So I've got much of a, it's a bit of a shine. There's always a bit of a shine on my work, so I have to look into the video to see where I'm, the computer, to see what's actually sort of happening. And Sedona, I'm not cleaning my brush, I'm just going straight in. Whoops. Take it around the edge, then I'll just bring it in a little bit just to blend those colours in. We'll see, we'll bring some other colours in a minute. Green up in the corner there, that's okay. So I think what I might go into now, let me just have a look at that in the, oops, oh, what did I do that for? Rub that off, didn't really want that in there. Let's grab my brush again. Grab this creamy colour. There we go. So just blending in a few colours here. And then we'll put some other stuff over the top of it. Okay, I might now grab, I've got out the cocoa. Cocoa's quite dark. Hi Susan. Okay, all good. Yes, I've got a couple I want to finish off. I wasn't able to do as many on the weekend as I had hoped, but we've got a couple of weeks to get them done, so that's okay. I had to pull back this time because the last retreat I did every class just about, bar the scrapbooking classes, and it absolutely wrecked me. Absolutely wrecked me. It took me about 2 weeks to get over it. I'm just going to put a bit of elephant in here, just to change the tone of this brown. Okay, so sorry, it's looking decidedly disgusting, this colour, but it's good for this picture. Actually, I should put something under there. Just a minute. My lovely picture under there. I don't want to get wrecked. Yes, so I pulled back on doing too many this time because it just threw me for a loop. It took me ages to get over it. It was physically demanding. Which you would know too. It great classes though. Now I've just cleaned my brush off a bit, so it's got a little bit of water on, so this is, I'm just blending in, but I don't want to blend in too much, but it just helps just to blend some of that to paint in. And I don't care if I'm not sure what I care about. I've forgotten. Oh, I've covered up all of the background. Yeah, that's okay. Now, I don't know if you can see this, but I can still see some of the printing behind, and so it looks pretty good. Yes, I thoroughly enjoyed doing her lesson, her class. I always do. I must admit, hers is the only kits I ever buy. The rest of it, I've got so much stuff here, I can fill in. Well, but definitely I buy her kits every time because I just love her work. Actually, I've been inspired. Tomorrow I'm doing up a class for November. And yeah, so anyway, just want to put a little bit more there. That's it. Yeah. All right, just dry this off a little bit. Yeah, because I find I've got so much stuff here that I can usually get whatever they use because I've already got it here. I have to admit I don't have a lot of art by Marlene. It's just something that I just don't, it's not that I don't like her stuff, it doesn't appeal to my whatever. But I did purchase the her new golden oldies. So you've got all of those old papers and die cuts that she has. So I have bought that just so that when I'm doing, say, a Tammy class or whatever, I've got something that that I can use. So I am supporting a little bit, but anyway, we digress. Now I'm going to get my cocoa out again, and I've got the sticker, the circle stencil, and I am going to just grab a makeup sponge, and I'm hoping you can see on the side. Oh, thank you, Wendy. To be honest, there's quite often there's not a lot of improvisation because, you know, like everyone, I've got so much stuff here that I just haven't used. So I've gone on a real not spending in 2024. Really making a concerted effort to use what I've got and being very, very strategic about what I purchased this year. So you know, I'm to be honest, I just don't have the room for all this stuff anymore. So let me see, can you see what I'm doing here? Yeah, okay, so it is working here. Beautiful, okay. It's actually a good stencil for doing, say, space and that kind of thing. I reckon it'd make some great universe type things. I'm just going to put a little bit. Oh gosh. That's my husband ringing. He knows that I'm doing this. So I'm just going around a little bit around the, because it's circly, I don't want to do too much, but I'm just sort of going around doing just a little bit. Alright, that will do for that. Let's have a look, see what they're... Yeah, it is a beautiful stencil. It really is a beautiful stencil. So let's just keep putting that on there. Just put that just to sort of see what's happening. Yep, I kind of like the idea of that. Now, I'll just let that dry off for a little bit. On the picture here, it's like there's rickety old branches and that kind of thing. So I'm just going to, but I also see some other little viney type things in the background there too. It's hard for you to see on that picture, but I also got this stencil out. This is a BRT stencil, but I'm not using all of it. It's a mandala thing. I'm just using these little bits that are hanging down here. Now I've got some black gesso here, so I'm just going to, oh, put a bit of that out. And again, oh, just excuse me for a moment, sorry. Daniel, I'm live. Sorry about that, guys. So we'll just go along. I'm guessing it wasn't important because he didn't say anything, so. Okay, just doing a few of those little things. I'm going to do something else, and then I'm going to do some drippy type things to emulate branches. So, you know, I'm just trying to build up a background, just using bits and pieces that I've got. Just move that out the way a bit. I don't mind if it's going over something else. I am just building up layers as you do. I just want to get that little bit of a softer look to the background. Alrighty. Okay, so let's have a look at that there. Yep. Oh gosh, I really do like this. Goodness me, isn't it amazing when you don't really plan something else? It does tend to come together a bit. It's beautiful. Love it. Beautiful. If I don't mind saying so myself. Now I know I'm going to put a few little viney things, what I'm referring to as vines, coming up this way. Now, how's that going? Put another one just there. Alright, so that is just looking pretty good at the moment. Quite happy with that. I quite like these colours. They're not colours I use a lot. I mean, I'm not like I was saying before, I'm not a big Halloween type person, but I do like some of the images and that kind of thing, you know. I mean, it's from a creative point of view, I do like a bit of gothic type stuff, but I don't know, it takes me back to the 70s, these 60s or 70s, whatever. Even the 60s, I think, was this sort of browny sort of look, wasn't it? All right, now let me see what I want to do now. I think what I thought I would do is I want to put a little bit of text on here, but I don't want it to stand out too much. So I just found this is an old stencil. I think it's from, what's the stencil company? The Crafters Workshop. It's one of those, you know, the 6-inch ones. So I'm just going to, with my black gesso again, and I'm just using some of the writing. I'm going to put some of the lines on because there's lines coming down in this image. Okay, so you know, keep an eye on your image when you do these things, because it will inform what you do in your layout, your layers, I should say, not your layout, your layers. Now, I need to put a little bit of text over here. And look, I am just being so random with this, which to me is what makes it work. A few more of these lines on. So this is just a ledger stencil. And again, another golden oldie that I've had for a long time. We've got to start using these things because we can't take them with us. So we've got to use them up. Alright, I think I'm done with that. It's very light and just all over the place. So you can see I'm just building up layers. I can still see some of that right at the book paper underneath. Not a lot, but I can still see it there. And I think it's looking good. Now, something that I will do is I'll grab a little bit of black gesso. Am I off camera again? All right, what I think I will do is grab, is that dry? Yep, this little brush here is dry. So I've just got a flat brush and I'm just dipping it into the black paint, and you can turn your book around if you're not too good with doing it this way, but I'm just going to start brushing, and I'm dry brushing because I want to darken this bottom part of the page. You probably could use a sponge or something to do this. I'll just lift that up so I can sort of see. Poor Daniel. I know, darling. He's out with my daughter. They're painting her new house, and he's probably just letting me know he's on his way home. But yes, I know. Poor Daniel. I'll tell him you feel sorry for him. So I'm just going to, have I got too much there now? Yep. So it's looking a little bit too flat, so I'm going to bring a little bit up here. Just a little, and then just a tiny bit around the top here. Like I say, you could do this with a sponge if you prefer. Thank you, Wendy. You're so encouraging. Thank you, darling. And look, honestly, it's not been very, you know, technical. You know, I mean, it's just layering on paint and stenciling, and it looks pretty good, doesn't it? I think I want a little bit more up the side here a bit. Maybe that's where I'm going to get my makeup sponge and do around the edge. I am trying to get it to be darkened. I know it looks dark. Right, let's have a look at that. So that's looking pretty good. I think I need a bit more darkness on this side here. Oh, I don't like using the... Okay. Yeah, it's a bit dark there, but anyway, there's nothing I can do about that. But I think I'm happy with that. And it looks earthy, yes. That's what I think I love about it, is because these are colours that I don't normally use, and I think that's why I am a little bit drawn to a bit of Halloween-y type stuff, because you can use those earthier tones. But anyway, yeah, it's looking great. Okay, now let's see. Now, again, just one more thing I'd like to do on here. You can see on this picture there's lots of circles around. So I do feel that we need to put some circles on the background here. Now this is where, we'll just leave that there. Hopefully I don't get paint all over it. But I'm using this stencil. I mean, you could just use a stencil where you just put little circles on. I'm going to do a little bit more than that, but let's see how we go. So I'm just going to put a little bit of ruby out. I've got some Sedona there. Now, oh gosh, I feel like I'm going to get paint all over there. So this, I've now got sapphire here. So I'm going to put a little bit of sapphire out. And I'm going to grab some of that elephant. The reason I'm going with the elephant, it's a very light grey. And grey is, oh, I didn't want that much. But grey is good for lightening the tone of the colour that you want. So I'm hoping that that's going to look all right. So I'm not going to be doing individual circles like it is on there. So what I'm going to do is just bring in some of that grey. Is this on? Oh, this is what I usually do. I just grab a little bit of that grey and then just mix it in there, because I want to bring down the tone of that colour. So you just bring in a little bit at a time until you get what you're after. Because it's easier to put in, it's harder to take it out, okay? So I look at that and, you know, it's not too bad. I mean, you probably can't sort of see, it looks a bit darker on the screen there, but anyway, it is looking pretty good. So I'm happy to use that colour. Now I will just chop off my sponge so I can use it again. And so what I'm going to do is I'll start off with Sedona. I'll probably get a different sponge for the blue because it will go brown. So I've got a bit on there, and I'm just going to very lightly tap on here just so I get a few little reddy shapes. I love this Sedona. It's not one I use a lot, but it's got that nice rusty sort of tone. If you looking for that sort of reddish. So can I just see if you can see that? Okay, look. I'm just got to get rid of that picture. I'm going to put something all over it. So I'll just bring that up to camera so you can see. It's just a little bit on the side there. Okay, so I'll just come down here and I'll do a little bit over here. I want to make sure I bring it into the middle a bit. Take it down there. Oops. Put too much paint on there. Let me just dab that off. Okay. And I'll just put a few more down here, and I'm probably off camera. And just a little bit there. Alright, love it. Now now I've got the red, so I can use the same brush. Just make sure you tap it off. It'll be good if there is a bit of that Sedona on there, it'll mix in nicely. So I might just put, I'm not going to get too carried away with this red, okay, because red, I don't like using red very much. Because it just looks like blood. And I suppose that's appropriate on a gothic sort of, kind of lends itself to it, I suppose. But anyway, just a little bit here and there, a little bit there. Just put some there. Here I am. You know, honestly, don't listen to anything I say, because I go and do it anyway. All right, so I'll chop a bit of that off again, so I can reuse it. And I'll use a different bit now, and now I'm going to use my blue that I've got on here, and there's a few on there, so this will help to pick up the colours a little bit. Are you able to see that on there? Let's have a look. Yes, maybe we do. Well, if you with your elves, you could probably do something with red with your elves. A little bit down in the corner here. It's kind of good because it's subtle against the dark background. Let's have a look at that. Might bring in a few more in here. Bit too much paint on there, I think. All right. Just need a bit there. All right. Now, I'll bring that up. That's going to need to dry off there. A bit too much paint on it. You can see I haven't deliberately gone into the middle there a bit because, you know, it is going to be mostly covered up. All right, let's hold that up there. Oh, hello, Leslie, how are you? Good on you. Well, happy birthday to whoever's getting it. Well done. I think everyone's still finishing off classes. I know I am. So I'm pretty happy with what we're getting here at the moment. It's looking better than it was in my head. I can't believe it. But anyway, that's good. Now, on the picture, I don't know if you can see, but there are lines coming down the page. So, oh, that is something I want to do before we do that, because remember, I want to make some branchy type things on here. So sorry, I just forgot about that. So rather than, I could use a stencil with a branch or something, but I thought I would just use my ink. Now I'm using the Montmartre acrylic ink, the black acrylic ink on this one, mostly because this is one good thing about this little bottles. It's got a little, I don't know, stopper at the the end, whereas my Liquitex one, that's very big, so you get these big blobby bits. So I am wanting, excuse me, talking too much. Let me just have a drink. Hello, Robin. Yes, it does have moody. It's very, well, gothic-y. All right, so I'm holding it up, so I'm just going to let it dribble down. But see, I'm going to turn it sideways. I don't know if you can see that. I'm turning it sideways, and then I'm going to turn it back this way. Look, I probably could put some water on it. I don't know if I want to do too much water, because I don't want it to. Okay, well, there we go. So I'm just turning it every which way, because I want to get those sort of crumpled up, bent up branches. So I'm sorry, it's probably not good viewing for you guys, but that's exactly what I didn't want to do. So all I've got there now is a big blob. I probably should have. I just want to get rid of that big blob that I had there. Oh. Done it all over my hands. I'll show you in a minute. It's kind of working nicely. So can you see that? I know. Done that before today. You should see the big black mark on my carpet square I've got underneath my desk here. I knocked the black ink onto the floor. So you can see that that's kind of got what I wanted to do. I'll just put one there. Oh. Beautiful. That will do quite nicely. Oh, I hope that didn't go on the other side. Okay. All right, dry that off. Oh, there you go. Oh, done it. Fortunately, I knocked it onto my palette, so that's all right. It'll take a little while to dry because there's a lot of ink on here. Now, if some of it will sort of kind of disappear into the background, that's okay. And the worst part about it, it's spilling it over, is the Liquitex inks in particular are very expensive. And half of it's sitting on my carpet underneath my desk. So I was very annoyed. So, yep, I'm still quite happy with this, what I've got going on here. Just let that dry off for a little bit, because I've got to remember that I've actually got matte medium underneath there, so it will oh God, here we go, it will bubble up if you put too much heat on it. Oh dear. All right. Okay, so I'm presently surprised at how well this is turning out. Okay. Now, what I will do is get some more of, I think I might go with the Sedona rather than the red. I don't want to bring too much red in it. There's a lot of red lines on that one, but to me they're more the Sedona sort of colour. What I might do is grab the Sedona and put a little bit of ruby in it. So that will make this reddish brown a little bit more reddish, but still have that brown feel to it. So just going to mix that up a bit. So I'll just give it, there you go. I don't know if you can see that, but it's kind of got the Sedona underneath. It looks quite orange compared to what I've just done there, so it's really nice. It's given it a nice red look. Now I'm using my catalyst tool. This is another catalyst tool that I've got, so it does nice fine lines. You could use a credit card, or you know, palette knife, something like that. So I'm just going to, I'll start at the top, and I'm just putting some lines down. Sometimes if you've got enough paint and you're confident with it, I don't want to make them too thick. But a credit card or a palette knife can do just the same trick. This is made out of the same silicone as the you know, the brush that I use. Oh, see, that's a bit thick. The tool that I used for my matte medium. Just have a look up there. Yeah. So I'm okay with putting them halfway there, because some of these are going to get covered up with the picture. So I don't mind that there's a disconnect there. I think over here a bit there's, and I'm only just going downwards too. I'm not doing it crossways. No. Just gentle. Beautiful. A few more up here, and then that'll be it. So I'm quite happy with that colour now that I put a little bit of red into there. I'll just put a couple in there. Alright, wipe that off. Right, okay, let's dry that off a little bit. You're liking it, Sandra? Yes, it is nice. Just adds that little bit of, I don't know, bit of extra oomph to it. make, oh, still very wet there. It's quite thick there, so I need to dry that off a bit better. Just thinking now what my next step will be. I think I will might get the mustard out and do a few splatters with the mustard. Wherever the mustard's gone, here it is, here. Just going to have to be careful with that because it's quite a big lump. So I'll just I'll move this over a bit. Just want to make sure I keep. Yes, thanks, Shari. It is. It's just amazing how that little bit of colour can make a whole big difference. Now, girls, I know I said no special tricks or tools, but I am going to use something now. It's something that I always, clear gesso. I just saw, got some Liquitex clear gesso. So, just a minute. Alright. Oh, here it is. This is what I want. I'm going to use this. This is a thin medium. What this is going to do is, I want to make it very liquid to doing splatters. But if I put water in, I'm actually going to thin down the colour. I'm going to, change the colour, dilute the colour. So what I'm actually doing is, I'll probably put too much in here, but that's okay. I'm thinning it down with a medium that doesn't change the colour, but it's changing the viscosity, fluidity of the actual. So it's making it, the colour is now really, really liquid, but it still has the same colour. Whereas when you put water in, the more water you put in, the more liquid it becomes, and more lighter it becomes. So, now it's very, very wet. Now, splatters are a learned thing. Now, you can see there, I did that big blob. It's because I'm using a different product than I would normally do with, I usually use inks to do my splatters. And so I know exactly how my inks work. Whereas, I have to relearn what to do because I've changed the product that I've used. So I am just putting, because to me yellow is great. If you want pop of colour, yellow is your man, your colour, alright? And I guess we all learnt that from Van Gogh. He is the master of using yellow, and you know that's what really intrigues you by his paintings, is that use of yellow. So I'm just going to dry that off. I might just let that dry off for a bit, because I'm not far off finishing this, but I want to put some cheesecloth, muslin, whatever you want to call it, behind her on here. So I'll just want to play with that for a bit. So I'll leave that over there. Leave the picture there while I get my muslin out. Okay, I just buy this from the cheap shops. It's cooking, it's the cooking stuff, and I just chop it up as I need it. got a big hole here somewhere. Yep. And look, I just willy-nilly chop it up. It's probably way too much, but that's okay. Just put that to the side over there. That over there as well. Okay, let's bring this out. Now, that is, did you see that was clear gesso? No, sorry, no. I picked up clear gesso because I just realised I had some. No, this is, what have I done with it here? This is Artilia. This is an artist product. So you buy it from the artist, from an art store, Eckersley's or whatever you have down in where you live. It's Artilia is a brand of paints, you know, artist quality paints. This is called a thin medium. Okay, you can also use clear glaze medium. That's another product that you can use. I just haven't got mine here at the minute. Clear glaze medium you can buy from Spotlight. If you use that, Joe Sonia has a clear glaze medium. That is another one that I would use. Ordinarily I'd probably grab that if I had it here, but it's in my bag. Yeah, so thin medium or clear glaze medium. It does add, the clear glaze medium does add a little bit of a shine, which is okay because you're doing splatters and you might want it to shine. I'm just cutting off the edge here because that's the edge of the thing. Probably don't need anywhere near as much as that. Where's my girl? Okay. Yeah, I shall chop. You can see I'm very, very loose with this. Now I just need to find, see if I've got a piece of card big enough. I have heaps of card here. When I want it, I can't find it. Alright, I don't need it that thick. So what this is how I like to add bits and pieces. Because I'm in my book here, you know, some people might just want to staple that in, but I've got a page on the back there that I've done, so I don't want to do that. So what I tend to do is just cut a little piece of card, grab your stapler and staple that on, then I glue it to the background. I just find it easier if I can staple it on. Several places. Okay. So I tend not to, you know, I'm going to pull that apart later, but I tend to glue it onto the page first before I do that, so it's got some rigidity there. So let's bring our page back, dry it off properly because I can still see some big blobs. So I'm hoping you can see, particularly down on the dark bits there, that there is some nice bright splatters. If I had watered that down, by the time it dries, the splatters would have seeped into the background. You wouldn't see them very much, but because I kept the integrity of the colour of the mustard paint, that is why you can see it very, very clearly. Right, so I need to decide where I'm going to. I haven't got the quote out. I'll put that on, and you know, you can see that in the picture. I'll come up with something. So I'll probably just put up a little bit higher, and so that most of the quote will be down the bottom here. I might leave a bit of space there, but the idea is just so I know where to glue that down. And I'm just using my normal glue for this. And I bet it won't open. Okay. Lots of glue. Yep. Put that there, so we'll just let that sit there for a bit. It's not quite in the middle, but that's okay. Alright. It is kind of dry there, so that's okay. I shall just get a little bit of a tool here, and I just hold on to it, then I just start pulling it out until I'm happy with it. And I'll do that, and even after I put the picture on, so you just have to be careful because it is only lightly stapled onto there. But I just wanted a little bit of interest behind the picture. So I know it's looking a bit messy. And you just keep pulling it until you decide you like that. And I usually give it a haircut afterwards. So like a few little bits hanging down because it's so I'll just leave that there like that for the moment. Okay, and so that's probably where I'll end up putting it, and I think I'll just put it straight down. I will distress the edge of this first, I think. So all I'm going to do is, with my scissors, I am just be careful. You just want to distress it. You don't want to wreck it too much. Just to get rid of those sharp edges, to make it up a little bit grungy. Alright, bring that back. Just wipe that off. Now, let me see. Oh, be careful, Linda. What I wanted to do is go back into that that reddy orange that I had before. Put a little bit on my fingers, and I'm just going to edge. Probably could have cut that white edge off, but that's okay. I'll just bring in some more of this this paint. I just want to edge it off a bit. Nope. Don't want too much paint over the picture. Alright, get rid of that. Oh. Just clean off my fingers. And dry that off a bit. Now, I'm just going to bring this back in a little bit, and where is another one here? I'm just going to grab and put my fingers on there. Okay, and I am just going to put oh dear. Okay, cover her head. So I don't mind a little bit of sprays, I just don't want it on her face. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. So how long have we been going for? What time is it? 9 o'clock. Sorry for keeping you up so late, guys. Now I'm not going to do it now, but after I've finished with you, I will go in and, oh, that's hot. I'll go in with some glossy accents to do her eyes, her lips, and some of these balloons that are circles that are around her. So I will do that. But for now, what I'm going to do, I think we're pretty right with that now. I'm going to put glue on the back of this picture. You could foam tape it if you wanted to. I'm not, because my book's getting thick enough as it is. The problem is, you know, if you do that every time, your book just gets so darn thick. And so just make sure that's all out. I'll just pull it out some more because I'm frightened I'm not going to reach it. Just make sure it's all pulled out in some regard. Okay, that's it. Hope I haven't made that look too difficult. Put that down. It's kind of given it some texture now because we've, you know, distressed the edges and that. So that's looking pretty good. So I will just make sure that is all in there. And so this is where you can pull. So I'd probably, what I would do is chop a bit of that off because I just think there's too much there. And then I just start just pulling it out to what you think. And then obviously, like I said, give it a haircut. There's a little bit coming out there. I'm not going to play with that. And so where you get these really big long bits, just chop them off. Alright. So, like I say, I might do a little bit of stamping as well. My favourite stamp from Mr. Seth Apter, and if I can't find it, I'm going to cry. It's got to be here somewhere. That's my other one I like to use. Come on, oh, here it is. This is my absolute favourite. And I only use one bit of it. You can see I have used all of it. Most times I just use that section there because I just love it. Just to add a little bit of grunge. Just look away for a minute because I'm just going to bring this camera down a bit so it can get a bit goo-goo. So sorry about that if you got a bit seasick then. But I just want you to see, I'd always put a little bit. See, I'm still not sure you can see that. I'll just put some up here, because quite often I like to put a little bit on her face. It's ever so delicate. I'll bring it up in a minute. I'll just do a few bits so you can see them. But this is a fabulous technique that I learnt from Seth after this year, and I tell you, it made the workshop I did with him so valuable just from learning that one trick. And I will do it right around here, not all the way, but I do tend to do bits. It won't stand out very much on this page, but by golly, you know, if you were having a look at it close up, you would see, oh, that looks so cool. How did she do that? With a little bit of stamping and the edge of the stamp. Not much. Put some on her hair. And that's what makes it all grungy. Look, I'll leave that for now. I might put some on more later, but I just want to bring that up so you can see that. Whoops. Let me just wait till the camera catches up. So I don't know, can you sort of see? Let me wait till it comes up. It's probably hard for you to see, but there's a lot of, just a little bit of grunge just around the edge there, and by taking it out here, you know, it's just making everything cohesive. And yeah, so did you see it on her forehead? It's on her forehead there, just a little bit. It's just tiny little marks. Okay, so I haven't found a quote yet, so I will put the quote on. And look, I'll probably just do a little border around the outside. I will do the eyes and all that, but that's going to take overnight to dry. So I'll take photos tomorrow and I'll upload them here on the web for you. And yeah, so that's it. And I have to, oh gosh, have I put that on crooked? Oh no, it's not too bad. I am really, really pleased with what I've done here. And I surprised myself tonight, so I'm very, very pleased with what I've done. And so yep, have a look on here tomorrow, and I will put some pictures up. So thank you girls for joining me tonight. I really appreciate you stopping in, and yeah, so please spread the word around to others, and look forward to creating with you again in a fortnight's time. Thanks girls. See ya. Bye bye.